Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Marcelina. I am a teen author. I am currently outlining my newest work in progress. It is going to be like a true crime, mystery, romance, thriller kind of thing. And I haven't even started writing yet. I'm planning to start writing in May once I finish school and my schedule clears up a little bit. But today is really exciting because I'm actually going to be vlogging my process and my experience planning out one of my characters and fleshing them out. So if you guys watched my last video, you'll know that I was fleshing out my female main character. Her name's Natalia, by the way. And in that video, and in a couple of my previous videos, I have mentioned that there is going to be a love triangle in this book. Which means there's gonna be two, not one. No. We're not basic here. We're not simple. There's not gonna be one, there's going to be two male main characters in this story. And so this is the vlog where I'm going to brainstorm and start to develop both of these guys. So come along with me as I try to make them into some coherent and hopefully swoon-worthy love interests that will have you guys debating which side you're on. That's my goal. No way. You guys will never believe what happened today. So basically, I'm a person who believes in signs. I think that honestly, like, the universe just tends to give me signs when things are right. It's happened for many things. And literally that happened today. So let me just back it up for some context. I'd been stuck between two or a few different names for one of the two male main characters. This one, I'm not going to say too much about him. One, because I don't know much about him, quite frankly, at this point in time. And also two, there is one really major thing that I do know about him, but it's incredibly spoilery. And yes, even though this is a vlog and I'm supposed to be transparent about my process, that is like one key detail that I'm not willing to reveal or share just yet, or like at all. Like, it's literally very pivotal to the plot, and it's something that I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on, and y'all will find out when you eventually read the book. It's just one of those things. But anyway, I don't know much about him. So I was like debating between these names because I didn't know, since I don't know much about him, I don't know which name would better fit his character. Right, but then as I started Googling more names, I saw some ones and I made a list of some ones that I liked that had meanings, because I like names with meanings. That's oftentimes how I name my characters, is like I find hidden meanings that correlate to their personality or like roles that they have within the book. And so I was finding some that fit like symmetrically way better and they sounded way better, but my mind would not get off this one specific name that I picked. So I was like, do I want to do this name? Do I not want to do this name? I'm a very indecisive person. Just know that about me. I'm incredibly indecisive. Sometimes I don't know how I'm an author, like a self-published indie author, because if you didn't know, like, self-published authors, you have to do everything 100% yourself. You have, like, literally, it's all yourself, which I love that control. But also, as a very indecisive person, it could be a struggle sometimes. But anyway, I was like, this name would not leave me alone. It kept haunting me all morning. So then fast forward to 4th period, PE for me. I was talking with a couple of my close friends in that class because our PE teacher, she is about 6 or 7 months pregnant with a boy. And so we're all like super happy for her. And we were discussing like what we think she might name him and all of that. And so my two friends, they both said a name idea, and that name, they were talking about obviously her and her baby, but that name happened to be the exact name that I've been thinking of for my male main character. And I just stood there and almost started laughing because they don't know I'm working on this book. They don't know anything about this guy that I've been brainstorming. So the fact that they were just like, and then one of my friends, she was like, oh yeah, I've always liked that name. So I'm like, me too. That's why I picked it. That's why it won't leave me alone. So I'm just gonna get to the reveal because I think I've let the anticipation simmer and sizzle for a while. So I think I've decided on a name for one of the two MMCs. His name will be Jaden Astor. I'm so happy. I love it. Like, don't even ask me, where did Jaden come from? I don't know. Okay, it just popped in my head, and I've googled so many other names, and let me tell you, from the tiny bit that I know about him, Jaden just, it works. I don't know yet what he's gonna look like, but I think at the time when I'm editing this video, I'll have figured it out. So editing me will flash some inspo aesthetic pictures of what I imagine Jaden, one of the love interests and male main characters, to look like. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. It's been a whirlwind, but at least I have a name. So now for the rest of the video, I can refer to him as Jaden instead of just like one of the guys, or you know, the MMC. Like, if I say Jaden, you know who I'm talking about. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Hello. I know it's been a couple of days since I last updated you guys, and I apologize for that. That is my bad. Today is currently Friday, March 7th, and this is going to be quick because my storage is miraculously full. I don't know how that happened. I really need to delete some pictures and videos because my storage is full. So I don't even know how much it's gonna let me record. And also B, my voice is a little dead because I just recorded my student council application video, and the problem with that is that I wasn't going off a script. It was all fresh, just improv at this point, and so I was spewing out the most random things the first 17 times, so I had to re-record it a bunch. So anyway, to save my voice, because I don't want to be mute this weekend, I have not been working much on this project or on developing Jaden. However, I have decided a key, crucial detail about him that isn't, I don't want to say it's crucial because it's not like significant to his character or anything that dramatic. However, I think you guys, especially if you're like a book talk girl or if you're like more into like dark romance, I think you're gonna love it. So, you know how on Book Talk there's this whole like kind of like Russian men obsession? Especially like if you're into more dark romance, the Russian men hit different in books, which I can't lie, they kind of do. So no, Jaden is not going to be Russian. However, he has lived in Russia most of his life, so he has a tiny accent and he's fluent in Russian. So this is where Google Translate's gonna come in because he's gonna be saying some things specifically to Natalia. But I'm really excited because I think Russian nicknames are so freaking cute and endearing, and I'm so excited to just like pick one. I'm not gonna pick like a cliche one, like I'm gonna pick a good one, I swear. But I'm super excited because I just think the Russian language is really pretty. And if any of you are wondering like what prompted this thing, like why Russian, why not Spanish? Because I'll admit, Spanish, it sucks learning it. I'm currently in Spanish too, and it's incredibly difficult. Like, I'm struggling to maintain a B, okay? I'm like, it's hard, okay? But it is definitely the prettiest language. Like, Spanish is nicknamed the love language for a reason. The reason I picked Russian, though, is because I've been listening to a lot of Russian songs. Specifically, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so if I butcher it, I'm so sorry, but Erika Lundmond. I've gotten into her music, so you may have heard Yad by her. I think I've played it in some of my edits before, but it's this song. So yeah, you may have heard it before. It's kind of had its moment on TikTok and it blew up like a year ago. I mean, it's still pretty popular, but like, it's definitely her most viral song. But she has a lot of other ones that are so good, like these ones. Please check these out. Like, they're gonna be in the official playlist for the book. Don't even need to worry about that. I promise I'm putting them in because they're such an inspiration already, and I haven't even started writing yet. But I've been listening to these on loop and her voice is so angelic. She mainly speaks in Russian. I think this is her only song where she speaks half in Russian, half in English. Otherwise, all of her songs are in Russian. But I don't even care. Like, you won't even care that they're in Russian, that you can't understand them unless you're fluent in Russian. But you don't even know what she's saying. But it's one of those times where that's irrelevant because her voice is so pretty, the melody is so pretty, they're so catchy, and they tell a story. She has the most positive messages in her songs of just such like optimism and female empowerment, and it's like so heavenly. And so listening to those and like going down a rabbit hole of discovering these new things and adding a bunch to my playlist has really gotten me into like the Russian culture and the vibes, and it just made me really want to write a Russian character. So prepare yourselves for that, because that's going to be a huge thing that I'm integrating in, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, hi guys. Today is currently Saturday, March 8th. I am home alone yet again and trying to take advantage of it yet again because I'm a little bit behind. I think I mentioned in the last clip that life has been busy, life has been chaotic lately, and I really have not worked on the book, like, at all this past week, except for like finding out little tiny subplot-worthy details. So we're actually sitting down. I have a whole setup here. I'm literally like sitting on our bar stools. I don't know how you can see this. I'm sitting on our bar stools with my computer on the counter, and camera shaking. My notebook. I did this technically earlier. It was gonna take you guys long, but I could not find all the time. So I'm gonna walk you through it. So this is roles within like the secret society FBI organization that I've mentioned. It's gonna be called the Bureau. I have decided that. And I was trying to map out like different roles because I think that I'd always kind of figured out like Natalia's the hacker, and I just through this process figured out that Jaden is going to be the investigative analyst. And for anyone who's like, what the heck is that? That's not a real job, as far as I'm aware. But that's not the point. This is not supposed to be a like actual realistic FBI thing, because my plan as I was developing this, I kind of started to think more about what the Bureau is in the first place. And it is not, I repeat, it's not supposed to be the FBI. I'm not making a book where all of these teen characters that are between the ages of 16 and 18, well actually 16 and 19, I think, I don't know. There's a couple other characters I have not even started to develop yet. We'll get to them when we get to them. But like, they're not in the FBI. That's not the point of this book, which is why I'm not so concerned about making it so like FBI accurate, because it's not supposed to be. The whole point is that it's kind of like, think like the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So yeah, sorry if you heard all that, by the way. That was the heater that clicked on, and now it's off. So it should be quieter now. But basically, think of it like the FBI recruited this group of people. It's like a society, like secret society organization that assists specifically with missing people, and then they report to the FBI. Like, it's like a whole, I don't know how to describe it because I don't have much I'm going off of right now. Look at this on my computer. Is this a good angle? Oh, I just hit my computer. That is absolutely not a good angle, but we're gonna adjust myself. So yeah, I don't want to show you too closely. I always say this and then I give something away and I have to blur it out or cut it out because I'm really bad with these things. But we have the leader, the investigative analyst, which I'm planning that person, which I've decided is going to be Jaden, is in charge of taking whatever new info / leads the leader finds, because the leader is like kind of like a field agent. Like, they're not field agents. That's like the one line that the FBI will not allow them to cross. But the leader is like the head commander of everything, and so he's kind of the only one who does field work. So the investigative analyst is in charge of taking whatever like information, leads, like new developments that the leader can get and come up with, and investigating and digging deeper into it, like with like the classic string and board kind of thing. And then I was just developing some others that I'll get to later, like the forensic specialist, which is like in charge of doing the canon lab work for tangible pieces of evidence, a data manager, which I want to start playing these people because I kind of already know who else. I don't know names, but like I'm gonna have, we're gonna start developing certain relationships and dynamics. So that's in the works, but I cannot outline, something about me, I cannot outline more than one character at a time. So if I'm working on outlining Jaden right now, then I'm strictly outlining Jaden, not the other characters, not even the other love interest quite yet. He's gonna come next week because I'm like, my full brain needs to wrap around everything I'm doing here with Jaden specifically. So anyway, I've been working on the character profile, which I don't want to show you too closely again, but I did talk about this in my last vlog where I was outlining Natalia. But if you missed that, basically it's a template I got off of Abby Emmons. However, if you look on that particular video, it's not exactly the same, just because I kind of used hers more as a guidance and inspiration. I took most of it and then I just kind of tweaked it so it works for me. Initially, like not with The Blood That Divides Us, but like several books ago, like 2 years ago, when I first stumbled across her videos, I was actually using word for word her exact template, but some things just don't work for me personally. She's a very like outline plotter heavy writer, and that's amazing for her because her stories are amazing, so clearly it works for her. I definitely consider myself an outliner. I'm not a pantser, which just basically means you're like a discovery writer, you just jump right in, you don't like outlining. I'm not that. I love outlining so much. Like, what I'm doing is fun to me. Maybe not to anyone else, but to me it's really fun. So, you know, I am an outliner, but I'm just not as heavy of an outliner, and it just tends to throw me off when I develop so much about them. Like, so I just kind of tweaked her own to fit my own, and that's perfectly fine too. So it's split up into 3 sections of the profile bio, which is full name, nickname, age, occupation, appearance, sexuality, and I added birthday. That's a new thing that I did not have when I was planning Natalia, but I went back because I have all of these individual profiles in one document, so I can just scroll. So I just scrolled back up to Natalia's and added it. And then I have, for the next section, profile characteristics, so personality, A's Enneagrams, hobbies, strengths, weaknesses, and quirks, and then backstory, because I'm a firm believer you gotta have backstory in every single one of your characters. No, it does not have to be like that cliche, oh my gosh, like my parents abandoned me, I'm an orphan, my foster parents are abusive. Like, I think writers get confused. Not all of your characters have to have that kind of like extreme, super psychological or physically traumatic childhood. However, all characters have backstory, because all characters, even if whether they're 12 years old or whether they're in their 30s, they all had a childhood, they all had some sort of backstory. It doesn't have to be traumatic. I think that's a misconception that backstory equals trauma. And I mean, for me, it kind of does, because low-key, I am a trauma writer at heart. I love writing angst. I love writing trauma. I don't know why something's wrong with me, but like, it's just kind of my comfort zone, so to speak. So a lot of my characters, and if you've read my past books, you'll know a lot of my characters do have trauma. And trust me, I already know in this book, a lot of my characters are gonna have trauma. The male main characters in particular are gonna have so much trauma. I feel bad for y'all. Like, please prepare yourselves, because you're not ready for the angst that's gonna happen. But I feel like backstory in general is important. Even if it's like they had the perfect childhood, something shaped them. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's good or bad, positive or negative. It shaped them to who they are today, and that's the only thing that matters. So anyway, I've just kind of been trying to develop that. I haven't even gotten to backstory though for Jaden, if I'm being completely transparent. I'm still on weaknesses. Right before I started recording, I just finished the strengths. He's going to be a very charismatic and confident person. He has an unrelenting drive to succeed despite the obstacles. He works hard to keep his promise, never ever breaks it. But I'm thinking for his weaknesses, I've only gotten one weakness down on the page. But one of his weaknesses is that above confidence, that many consider a strength of his, can cross the line into arrogance and cockiness sometimes, like, you know, like obnoxious arrogance. So it's something that I think, you know, with someone like him, I don't know if I said this already, but he's very like Jameson, the Inheritance Game coded, mixed with Wes from Better Than the Movies, mixed with Kai from Powerless. Don't ask how that's all gonna go. I don't know. I was like writing because I do like comp characters as part of the character profile because it really helps me solidify and make them a little bit more tangible if I like have 2 or 3 other characters that I know are gonna be like them to compare them to. And so I was writing that down. I was like, Jameson and Wes and Kai is here. I'm like, people are gonna be like, what the heck, Marcelino, what are you doing? Trust me, that sounds like the weirdest combination in the world, but trust me, it'll make sense. Like, it's not even like, oh, I'm like mashing those 3 together. Like, I don't want a hardcore Wes Better Than the Movie fangirly, because I know there are so many of you out there, especially watching my videos, being like, oh my gosh, she said he was like Wes, so I'm gonna love him. And then you go into it expecting like his mannerisms, his behavior, his little habits to be exactly like Wes. I'm not trying to be a Better Than the Movies copycat, okay? That's not my goal here. So I'm not trying to make Jaden exactly like any of the other 3 characters that I just mentioned. But it's more like I'm pulling certain details, certain slivers of their personality, of what they do, of parts of their story, of how they react to certain situations. Or like if you've read any of those, you'd be like, oh yeah, wait, he kind of gives off Jameson energy right now. Or like, oh my gosh, he reminds me of Kai in that one scene with like the jealousy. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Just trying to figure out more of his weaknesses, more of his triggers, what makes him tick, and just kind of like what conflicting factors are opposite to Natalia, but also might complement her in a way that will give them problems, you know, with being potential love interests, but also like that will bring them together at certain moments and scenes in the story. That's where my head's at right now. That's what I'm kind of trying to work through. It's 12:02. It's literally the afternoon. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet because I got up late because I stayed up till 1:30. My sleep schedule on weekends is so screwed, guys. Like, help. But anyway, I'm gonna eat a bagel, sit here, brainstorm, work on the character profile more, figure out more of Jaden's weaknesses, because I want him to be a flawed character. That is very important to me. Hi guys, welcome back. It has been a couple days since I last updated you. It is currently Monday, March 10th. Actually, got home from school not too long ago. It's currently 2:27 p.m. Have homework to do, student council applications to finish and submit, all of the works. But I did just want to take a break and come on to update you all because I just did something that when I say it's going to make a lot of people throw their book or throw their Kindle or whatever they're reading on across the freaking room, I mean it. Like, y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are gonna hate me. Y'all are gonna hate me for this. So let me tell you. So, back it up. I think I mentioned this, but I pretty much finished Jaden's character profile, except for backstories. But I was outlining Jaden's backstory. Also, sorry if you hear any background noise, my mom's currently making dinner right now, so that's what that sizzling is if you hear any of that. It's Jaden's backstory that is why you all are going to absolutely loathe me and want to come to my house and set it on fire. Okay, perhaps I'm being a little bit dramatic here, but you get the point, okay? You get the point. Basically, now I did reveal Natalia's backstory or bits and pieces of Natalia's backstory, and I had no problem with that. However, I'm abstaining from doing that this time around. We are not doing that with Jaden. I'm going to just keep this a secret, keep my mouth shut, and you guys will see the angst that I am referring to when you actually read the book. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm sure you could tell by that. His backstory is very, very angsty. It's very depressing. It's very heartbreaking. This makes it sound like Jaden is a bad person. I promise he is not. He is not gonna turn into one of those like really, really toxic love interests. He's not gonna do a 360 and become Adam from Shatter Me, okay? I promise. No. However, when I say that it's like really depressing, gut-wrenching and all that, it's more backstory in terms of his parents' story, like their journey together, how that affected him when he and his brother, when they were born and they were growing up in their childhood, and like, because they were born in Russia, hence how he's fluent in Russian, knows Russian, all that. So there's some things that go down there that are very, very traumatic. Not directly traumatic to Jaden per se, but the situation and the circumstances of what happened to his parents gave him the trauma. I'm gonna leave it at that. Do with that what you will, but damn, like, I did not think I was capable of writing this, but maybe I should learn from myself, because after writing Alyssa's backstory, and if you've read my other book, The Blood That Divides Us, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, after writing her whole ordeal, I should not limit myself. I should not underestimate myself and doubt what I'm capable of, because I can write some really traumatic, messed up things. So I just gotta accept that about myself as being a writer and move on. But anyway, let's just say that if you thought Alyssa's backstory was bad from The Blood That Divides Us, whew, girl, you are in for a ride with Jaden's backstory. Let me just say that. Y'all are seriously gonna hate me. Anyway, so that's kind of what I've been working on. And then I did, as of recently, start and actually finish Jaden's Pinterest board. Once again, I do have an up and running Pinterest board for not just Jaden, but actually all of the characters for this project. I'm doing sections, so if you didn't know, like on Pinterest, when you do boards, you could just add all these pins to a board, or you could do sections. I'm doing sections, so I'm doing a section for each character. So we're doing one for Natalia, one for Jaden, the other male main character that I have not yet developed. That'll be next vlog, little teaser, next week, next vlog. It'll be all about the other guy. And then I'm planning for there to be like this mute best friend, and then there's going to be another guy that's in the FBI organization, and then there's going to be Natalia's sister Allison, the one that I mentioned disappears. Like, so there's a whole thing, okay? There's a whole plan for that. But anyway, each one's going to have their own section, and then I'm currently debating if I want to do like each individual character has their own section, but then like couples get their own section, because there's going to be a couple of couples. So like, I haven't decided yet, because with the couples, like, it's gonna cross over, so I don't know if I want to give them their own sections, or if it's kind of pointless. So I'm still deciding on that. What I do want to say about making Jaden's board was that it was actually really tricky, trickier than you may think, because I did finish it, and no, it is not public. I'm keeping it private until I finish everything, and until I reveal the title, which won't be until May, because that's when I'm going to start writing. Then I'm going to make it public, just because I don't want people looking at it while I'm still working on it, while I'm still editing things, while like certain details are still hidden to the public. But yeah, a struggle that I didn't anticipate, that I did not run into with Natalia and making her board, was, I mean, as I've already revealed, I think I've revealed it in like an edit that I posted by now, short form edit, as well as in this vlog. Jaden has white hair, and like, I hesitate to say it like that, and I feel like unless I show pictures to contextualize his character, y'all are gonna be like, he has white hair? Like old dude white hair? Like, no, not grandpa white hair, okay? That's why I don't like to say he has white hair, because it puts the wrong image in people's mind. Not like old grandpa hair, but like, think like silvery, like it's almost like that blonde that's so blonde that it's like a silvery white, like Peyton Gray's from Powerless. Not really the same thing. Hers is more silver. His is like if her hair was like lighter. Like this is making no sense. But if you go on Pinterest, and I've gotten this question before, going on a little tangent, I've gotten this question multiple times before, so I'm just gonna kind of clear the air for everybody. Any face claims, any people that you see on my edits, any people that you see when I'm doing these vlogs, like when I'm showing images of these aesthetic people of what I imagine my characters to look like, all of those people are found on Pinterest. Unless they look like me, which sometimes I do. I mean, I obviously use my face for these vlogs, and sometimes I do like videos where I show my face, like short form videos where I use my face. But if it doesn't look like me, then more likely than not, I got it off Pinterest. You could literally just search up, well, there's two ways. You could just search up like face claims, and you'll get like specific aesthetic ones that are usually used for edits, or you could just do like, you could just search up girl with red hair on Pinterest, and hundreds of beautiful girls will come up, and then you can filter it to videos, which is how I'm able to do like videos for my edits, and it'll filter it. So that's where I get all of my people that I imagine to look like my characters, which is why making Pinterest boards is so fun. However, if you look on Pinterest, if you search up like guys with white hair or white-haired guys, or even guys with silver hair, silver-haired guys, there's not a lot of options. Like, you can look it up yourself. Jaden, on the other hand, there are some, and by the way, Cameron Hill literally came in clutch. He came in clutch. The majority of, and I will just say this now ahead of time, the majority of pictures and videos and edits that you will see of Jaden going forward will be of Cameron Hill, because this dude, this man, first of all, not only are his eyes gorgeous, like, be so for real, it's giving Jaden. Like, he's very popular, so a lot of his like TikToks and his like pictures of his face or videos of him are on Pinterest, so it is easier to find, or they are on Instagram or TikTok, where I could just screen record it from there or screenshot it from there. But he is like the only like white-haired, like kind of young looking dude, because I don't know if I mentioned this, but Jaden is supposed to be 17. So I want someone who looks 17 or relatively around that age. Even if they look like they're in their early 20s, I don't care, I'll make it work. If Netflix can recruit all of these 20-something-year-olds to play teenagers in their films, I could do the same thing. Make it make sense, okay? So a lot of it, if you're like, hey, a lot of Jaden's inspo pictures all look like the same guy, it's because it probably is. Because Cameron Hill is the only one that I could find through the very limited options that Pinterest gave me that actually looks like what I pictured Jaden to look like authentically. So we're going with that. I don't have a problem with that. However, there's not unlimited options of Cameron, so that does, I will run into a problem. So if you're someone who, like right now and in the next few weeks, few months, you know, when I in May start actually drafting this book, it all seemed very new and fresh to everybody. My whole audience will be like, oh, he seemed cute, like I've never seen this guy before, like, oh, you know. But if you're someone who plans to stick around for the long haul, and by the time I finish the first draft, so let's say in like July, August, you're still around and I'm still posting edits and whatnot of Jaden, you're gonna notice that I'm gonna start to post like the same pictures and the same face claims and videos, because unless I can find a whole other person, I'm gonna have to reuse things, because again, the options for white-haired men, but like the ones I'm looking for, are quite limited. I don't have a lot of resources. So if you guys can find something that will fit Jaden, that looks like the previous inspo pictures that I put on the screen, please let me know, or tag them down below, because I would love suggestions. It's just really hard, and it makes me reconsider if I even want to, but I feel like I've already announced it and I've already got it in my head. It already fits his character and his arc and everything about him internally and externally so incredibly well that it feels ridiculous. It feels almost offensive to change it. because I'm already so attached to it. And when I get attached to something, I don't want to change. I don't want to pivot. Like, I'm stuck on Jaden having this like dyed white hair. So we're just gonna have to make do, but that's kind of an issue. So just the many roadblocks of trying to write a book. Anyway, with that, I've already been talking for almost 20 minutes. Remember how I said it was like 2:27 when I started recording this video? Well, now it's 2:42. So, I think that's enough talking from me. Like I said, I have homework, I have other responsibilities to do. So fun. Thank you so much for watching. This is actually going to be the outro to the video. Usually I forget to film outros, so we're filming everything at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I truly hope you enjoyed. I've gotten a lot of comments that these types of videos, these vlogs, sincerely help you, which means the world to me. Like, I reply to all your comments individually, but I just wanted to say, like, all your support, all of you saying that you look up to me, that I inspire you as a fellow teen writer, that you look forward to watching my vlogs, like, all of that truly means more to me than you know. I appreciate it a bunch because it motivates me to keep going. Like, I'm genuinely speechless because words cannot express how much I respect and love you guys. Seriously, like, I would not feel nearly as motivated to pump out these books and like start a new project if it wasn't for the unwavering support I get from all of you. So even if you're new around here, perhaps stick around, consider subscribing, following along for the journey of my new mystery romance. So anyway, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!